We'll move forward.
All right, your first item is consideration of an appointment to the Emergency Communications District E911 Board. It is recommended to reappoint Margaret Denton and Jim Everhart to the Emergency Communications District 911 Board. We'd ask that you approve this appointment.
You have seen the appointment to the boards. Have a motion for approval.
So moved.
A motion for approval by Alderman George. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Vice Mayor Duncan. Any discussion? Okay, so all in favor of approving of the appointments to the emergency board, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, like sign. Appointments are made, 7-0. Thank you.
Next item is the approval of minutes. First is the work session on December 2nd, 2024, and the business meeting on December 3rd, 2024. We'd ask that you approve these minutes as submitted.
You have before you tonight the minutes, December 2nd, December 3rd. Are there any changes to the minutes? Seeing none, may I have a motion for approval?
So move.
Motion for approval by Alderman Baker. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Alderman Phillips. All in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, like sign. Minutes are approved, 7-0. The city manager.
Next item is to conduct a public hearing and a consideration of an ordinance to amend zoning of tax map 105, parcels 193, 194, located along Somerville Road and Kendrick Creek Road from the A1 Agricultural District to R1C Residential District. Jessica McMurray from the Planning Department will present the item, and then we'll move to the public hearing. Jessica?
Thank you. This is an owner-requested rezoning located along Somerville and Kendrick Creek Road. On this slide, you can see the vicinity of where the rezoning site's located. Kendrick Creek is the pink road that runs in the middle between the two parcels there, and Somerville is the green line there to your west that kind of loops around. I-81 is to the south, and I-26 is to the west, and it's the Tri-Cities Crossing intersection is just right there below. The rezoning site's approximately 106 acres. The request is the property be rezoned from A1 Agricultural District to R1C Residential District to facilitate construction of a new single-family housing development. On this slide, you can see the development plan for the proposed development. And during their November meeting, the Planning Commission did vote to send a positive recommendation to rezone from the A1 zone to the R1C zone based upon conformance of the future land use plan. A public hearing notice was published on November 25th, and I am happy to answer any questions that the board may have.
I will declare the public hearing open at this point. Is anyone wishing to speak on this item before us tonight? If you do, you come and sign the register there with your address. Seeing no one moving, I declare this public hearing closed. Okay, Mr. Attorney, please publish.
An ordinance to further amend the zoning code text and map to rezone property located along Somerville Road and Kendrick Creek Road from the A1 Agricultural District to R1C Residential District in the 14th Civil District of Sullivan County to fix a penalty for the violation of this ordinance and to fix the effective date of this ordinance.
You've heard the reading of the ordinance. Is there a motion for approval?
So move.
Motion for approval by Vice Mayor Duncan. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Alderman Mays. Any discussion on this item?
I will be abstaining from this vote.
Okay, one abstention, okay. Any other comments?
Project. Chris or Jessica, what's the average home value that's going to be built in there?
So right now, we've been working with a consultant out of Nashville just for the rezoning.
Okay.
So we'll maybe know closer to that information when
Okay.
the development plans are submitted and the building plans are submitted.
Okay.
So,
Thanks.
Any other comments, questions? Okay, all in favor of the ordinance, say aye. Aye. Any opposed? And any abstentions? Okay, motion passes 6-0-1. Thank you.
Next item is conduct a public hearing for the annual plan of services update on the Fieldcrest and Cherry Knoll annexation. No action required by the board, simply an update provided by Planning Manager Ken Weems.
Yeah. So thank you so much. This is both the Fieldcrest and Cherry Knoll annexations are up for their annual update. You can see them right here out on the eastern side of our city. They're both pretty close to each other with Cherry Knoll there on the left and Fieldcrest on the right. For Fieldcrest, water and sewer extensions are currently under survey, and for Cherry Knoll, it's their water, sewer, and street lights when development occurs. The public hearing notice was published on November 25th, and staff recommends holding the public hearing, and of course, I'd be happy to answer any other questions that the board might have.
I declare the public hearing open. Does anyone want to speak on this item? This is your time to come forth. Again, please sign the registers with your name and address. Seeing no one moving forward, I declare it closed. Okay, since this does not require any action, I'm closed. Any discussion? None? Thank you.
Thank you, Ken.
Thank you.
Next item, sir.
Next item is consideration of an ordinance to amend the fiscal '25 general purpose school fund and general projects fund budget. This is an item that comes to us from the Board of Education. This is a budget amendment that they're making. Most notably, you'll notice in the last two sentences, funding has been set aside to begin design work for the new Lynn Garden Elementary. I'm sure we'll be having more discussions on that in the months ahead. With that, I ask that you approve the ordinance on first reading, please.
Thank you. Mr. Attorney, please publish.
An ordinance to amend the general purpose school fund budget and the general projects fund budget for the fiscal year ending June 30th, 2025, and to fix the effective date of this ordinance.
You've heard the reading of the ordinance. I have a motion for approval.
So moved.
Motion for approval by Alderman George. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Alderman.
Mays.
Any discussion? Okay. This takes a voice vote. All in favor of the ordinance, say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Opposed, like sign. Ordinance passes 7-0. Mr. City Manager.
Next item is consideration of a budget ordinance for various funds in fiscal '25. As you read through this, you'll see that we have several donations that are being received. Some of these items you will actually take action on later. You see funding primarily in the leisure services area, and then also towards the end, funding being set aside in both water and sewer utilities for the Fieldcrest water and sewer work taking place as part of that residential development. We'd ask that you approve this budget ordinance on first reading, please.
Thank you. Mr. Attorney, please publish.
An ordinance to amend various fund budgets for the year ending June 30th, 2025, and to fix the effective date of this ordinance.
You've heard the reading of the ordinance. Is there a motion for approval?
So moved.
Motion for approval by Vice Mayor Duncan. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Alderman George. Any discussion? Questions, comments? Okay, all in favor of the ordinance, say aye. Aye. Opposed, like sign. Ordinance passes 7-0. Mr. City Manager.
Next item is consideration of a budget ordinance for various funds in fiscal '25. This comes to you on second and final reading. We'd ask that you approve the ordinance, please.
Thank you. Mr. Attorney, please publish.
An ordinance to amend various fund budgets for the year ending June 30th, 2025, and to fix the effective date of this ordinance.
You've heard the reading of the ordinance. Is there a motion for approval?
So moved.
Motion for approval by Alderman George. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Alderman Phillips. Any discussion? Okay, this item's on second reading, so it requires a roll call. Madam Recorder, please take the roll.
Alderman Baker.
Aye.
Alderman Cooper.
Aye.
Vice Mayor Duncan.
Aye.
Alderman George.
Aye.
Alderman Mays.
Aye.
Alderman Phillips.
Aye.
Mayor Montgomery.
Aye. Ordinance passes 7-0. Mr. City Manager.
Next item is consideration of a budget ordinance for various funds in fiscal '24. This is the item that was part of your called meeting last night. We bring this to you for second and final reading. We'd ask that you approve the ordinance, please.
Thank you. Mr. Attorney, please publish.
An ordinance to amend various fund budgets for the year ending June 30, 2024, and to fix the effective date of this ordinance.
Heard the reading of an ordinance. May I have a motion for approval?
So moved.
Motion for approval by Alderman George. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Alderman Baker. Any discussion? Okay, seeing none, this is a second item, second reading, so let's have roll call by Madam Recorder.
Alderman Baker,
Aye.
Alderman Cooper,
Aye.
Vice Mayor Duncan,
Aye.
Alderman George,
Aye.
Alderman Mays,
Aye.
Alderman Phillips,
Aye.
Mayor Montgomery.
Aye. Ordinance passes 7-0. Mr. City Manager.
Next item is consideration of a resolution awarding the bid for athletic uniforms and sports equipment to BSN Sports and authorizing the mayor to sign all applicable documents. This comes to you as a result of the joint request for proposals by the City of Kingsport and the Kingsport City Schools Athletic Department. Various uniforms will be purchased by both groups on an as-needed basis. We'd ask that you approve the resolution awarding the bid.
Thank you. Mr. Attorney, please publish.
A resolution awarding the proposal for the contract for athletic uniforms and sports equipment to BSN Sports and authorizing the mayor to execute an agreement for the same and any and all documents necessary and proper to effectuate the purpose of the resolution.
You've heard the reading of the resolution. I have a motion for approval.
So moved.
Motion approved by Alderman Baker. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Vice Mayor Duncan. Any discussion? Okay. All in favor of the motions of the resolution, say aye.
Aye.
And opposed, like sign. Resolution approved, 7-0. City Manager.
Next item is consideration of a resolution renewing the award for generator services. This is coming to you as a result of proposals that were opened in January of '22. We'd like to continue working with Nixon Power Services to service the various generators found throughout the city of Kingsport, both within our utilities and our general operations. We ask that you approve the resolution, please.
Thank you. Mr. Attorney, please publish.
A resolution renewing the award of bid for generator services to Nixon Power Services and authorizing the mayor to sign all documents necessary and proper to effectuate the purpose of the renewal.
You've heard the reading of the resolution. Is there a motion for approval?
So moved.
Motion for approval, Vice Mayor Duncan. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Alderman George. Any discussion?
I did not realize we had this many generators.
Yep. Yeah, very, very important to our operations, especially when we're in wintertime.
And one thing, I didn't realize that as well, that the city would have had this many generators. It makes sense, though, given the operations. But one thing I did notice is the price. It's a good price,
Yes, it is.
so that it was a good competitive bid process. So
Yep.
congratulations to your staff, did a good job.
Thank you.
Any other discussion? Okay, all in favor of the resolution, say aye. Aye. Opposed, like sign. Resolution passes 7-0. City Manager.
Next item is consideration of a resolution to purchase one hydro excavator truck utilizing Sourcewell Cooperative Purchasing Agreement. We discussed this last night. You'll see in the recommendation a picture of the vehicle or similar to the vehicle that we will be purchasing. Once the purchase order is issued, hopefully within 7 to 8 months, we'll have delivery of this. Any questions? If not, we'd ask that you approve the resolution authorizing the purchase.
Thank you. Mr. Attorney, please publish.
A resolution authorizing the city manager to execute a purchase order to Jet Vac Equipment Company utilizing Sourcewell Cooperative Purchasing Agreement Number 101221 SCA for one hydro excavator truck for use by Public Works.
You've heard the reading of the resolution. May I have a motion for approval?
So moved.
Motion for approval by
James. I second it.
Alderman Phillips.
Sure.
I second it.
And second by Alderman George. Thank you. Any discussion?
Mayor, I think we did discuss this last night, but I think it would be good if the city manager explain what a hydro excavator is and what it does.
And how you
Just
use it, how
briefly.
many people it takes to
Can you
operate?
demonstrate that
and
tonight,
Can
Chris?
you give us the whole
Yeah.
rundown?
Yeah, I'm hoping to be able to have it in the parade at Fun Fest. But, so what this is, through my conversations with Ryan, we all are aware of what an excavator is, track excavator. This is gonna use water to excavate, so it gets into a smaller area. It's a little bit neater job, less, intrusive to the property around it. So for certain jobs, this will be, more desirable use than coming in with a track hoe and doing that kind of excavation. So, sound good, Ryan?
Yep.
There you go.
All right, thank you.
Any other discussion? So all in favor of the resolution, say aye. Aye. Opposed, like sign. Resolution passes 7-0. At this point, I'm gonna take a 5-minute recess, if we don't mind.
Sure.
Want some, but I think everybody knows that. It's not like I've hidden my feelings.
I'm gonna gather us back into session. Thank you very much. Next item, sir.
Next item is consideration of approval of offer for right-of-way acquisition for the Pendragon Lift Station Replacement Project. This is a project that we've brought to you over the last couple of years as part of utility updates. This is necessary for us to move forward with the rebuild of that, so we're asking that you authorize the offers that have been presented for us to be able to move forward with the purchase of this property to rebuild this lift station.
Thank you, sir. I understand there's nothing for us to publish on this one, so we'll move straight to the motion. I have a motion for approval.
So moved.
Motion for approval by Alderman Phillips. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Alderman George. Any discussion?
This is just one owner, it's not offers, it's just one owner on
Correct,
this one,
yeah.
correct? Okay, that's the way I read it.
Yeah,
Okay.
just one owner.
Thank you.
Any other comments? Okay. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, like sign. Motion passes 7-0. The city manager.
Next item is consideration of resolution to approve the purchase of property located at 263 Bays Mountain Park Road. As we discussed last night, this is a 38-acre tract located on the western end of the park. An appraisal was done, bringing back a value of $315,000. The recommendation is for $105,000 to be received from the Bays Mountain Park Commission, and then another $210,000 coming from the city of Kingsport into the project, GP 2508. As you will know, following this item, you also have a grant that we're hopeful we'll be able to get that would reduce the city's cost by $100,000. This has been an item for over 20 years, or a piece of property, I should say, for over 20 years that the staff and the commission has been eyeing. It's a very good write-up based upon, and within your packet on the rationale for the purchase of this property. With that, Mayor, we'd ask that you approve the resolution authorizing the purchase.
Thank you. Mr. Attorney, please publish.
A resolution approving an offer for the purchase of real property for expansion of Bays Mountain Park and authorizing the mayor to execute an agreement and all the documents necessary and proper to effectuate the purpose of this resolution.
Okay, you've heard the reading of the resolution. I have a motion for approval.
So moved.
Motion for approval by Alderman George. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Alderman Cooper. Any discussion?
This is a wonderful addition to our park, and this is extremely nice of this family to contact us first. Has some really nice waterfalls, and it is located right where we need it to be. So this is a great opportunity.
I agree. Very much. So, any other discussion, questions? Okay. All in favor of the resolution, say aye. Aye. Opposed, like sign. Resolution passes 7-0. Mr. City Manager.
Next item is consideration of a resolution for Bays Mountain Park to apply for the Tennessee Heritage Conservation Trust Fund grant. This is a grant that we are applying for in the amount of $105,000. As stated earlier, we hope to be able to use it towards the item that you all just approved for purchase as part of the park. And hopefully shortly after the first of the year, we'll have a better understanding of how we fared on this. So we'd ask that you approve the resolution authorizing the application for this grant.
Thank you. Mr. Attorney, please publish.
A resolution authorizing the mayor to execute all documents necessary and proper to apply for and receive a Tennessee Heritage Conservation Trust Fund grant for Bays Mountain Park.
Thank you. I have a motion for approval.
So moved.
Motion for approval, Vice Mayor Duncan. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Alderman Baker. Any discussion? I just want to add the comments. I think our team of folks that you've assembled, Chris, have done a fantastic job getting grants.
Agree.
Today was a significant event on Bays Mountain as well. So thank you for those who worked so hard to make this a reality. Any other discussion? Okay, all in favor of the resolution, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, like sign. Resolution passes 7-0. City Manager.
Next item is consideration of a resolution to renew our stop-loss contract. This is our contract with Voya. We did work with our broker on this to look at various other alternatives. As a result of a request for proposals, it came back to continue with Voya. Tyra Copus, our HR director, walked through this last night at the work session. Be happy to answer any questions on this, but we'd ask that you approve the resolution allowing us to remain with Voya for our stop-loss carrier.
Thank you. Mr. Attorney, please publish.
A resolution authorizing the renewal of a policy for stop-loss insurance coverage with Voya Relia Star Life Insurance Company and authorizing the mayor to execute all documents necessary and proper to effectuate the purpose of the resolution.
You've heard the reading of the resolution. May I have a motion for approval?
So moved.
Motion for approval by Alderman George. Second by Alderman Phillips. Any discussion on this?
Mayor, I'll say I appreciate the way the staff manages the self-insurance program. I think that's a tremendous benefit for the city, for employees who focus on wellness. So I just appreciate that as an alderman.
Thank you.
Any other discussion? All in favor of the resolution, say aye. Aye. Opposed, like sign. Resolution passes 7-0. Mr. City Manager.
Next item is consideration of resolution authorizing the Industrial Development Board of the City of Kingsport, Tennessee to execute a payment in lieu of taxes agreement with LHP Capital. This is an item that comes to you from the Kingsport Economic Development Board. This is for Stonecrest Apartments, formerly known as Model City Apartments, located at 1040 Stonegate Road. They're in the process of going into a $17 million renovation of both exterior and interior. Very similar to Kingsport West that this board approved a few years ago. There's a request for the pilot in order to level out the tax payments that would be required of this development. You can see a table later in your packet there associated with this item showing the pilot payments with and without, or the tax payments, I should say, with and without the pilot. We ask that you all approve the resolution authorizing the pilot.
Thank you. Mr. Attorney, please publish.
A resolution authorizing the Industrial Development Board of the City of Kingsport, Tennessee to negotiate and accept from LHP Capital payments in lieu of ad valorem tax with respect to a low and moderate income multifamily housing project in the City of Kingsport, Tennessee, and finding that such payments are deemed to be in furtherance of the public purposes of the board as defined in Tennessee Code Annotated Section 7-53-305.
Thank you. You've heard the reading of the resolution. I have a motion for approval.
So moved.
Motion for approval, Vice Mayor Duncan. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Alderman Baker. Any discussion on this?
I think it's worth noting that LHP worked closely with the police department and took the recommendations that was made by the police department for the enhanced security measures. I think it's a great partnership opportunity with the city, so applaud them for that.
Absolutely.
Any other discussion? Okay. All in favor of the resolution, say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Opposed, like sign. Resolution passes 7-0. The city manager.
Next item is consideration of a resolution rescinding resolution number 2025-105 and amending an economic development contribution agreement to the Industrial Development Board of Kingsport and authorizing one or more agreements pertaining to the same. This item was on your agenda earlier this month. We are bringing it back to you because the resolution that adjoined this action form was actually drawn up for a renewal and not a complete refinancing. Our staff, along with representatives from the Economic Development Board and the Bank of Tennessee, have corrected the attached resolution and brought it back to you all for approval. As far as the executive summary goes, from what was on your last agenda to what is on this agenda, nothing has changed. The remaining loan has been restructured for 72 months at 4.09% interest. The goal here will be, as future phases of the Brickyard development are purchased, that will go towards the principal and ultimately reduce this loan. We hope and we anticipate that over the next 6 years, we'll see this property fully developed. Mayor, with that, we'd ask that you approve the resolution.
Thank you. Mr. Attorney, please publish.
A resolution rescinding resolution number 2025-105 and approving the third amendment to the Economic Development Contribution Agreement with the Industrial Development Board of the City of Kingsport, Tennessee, authorizing the mayor to execute the amendment and all the documents necessary and proper to effectuate the purpose of the amendment in this resolution.
You've heard the reading of the resolution. May I have a motion for approval?
So moved.
Motion for approval by Alderman Cooper. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Vice Mayor Duncan. Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor of the resolution, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, like sign. Resolution passes 7-0. Mr. City Manager.
Next item is consideration of resolution approving renewal of property insurance for city-owned buildings to Travelers Indemnity Company. As we discussed last night, much like what we were talking about earlier with the stop loss, it's the end of the year. Pretty typical that these are items coming back to you all for renewal, and much is the same with this one. Travelers, once again, provided the best rate on the properties that we own. Recommendation is to move forward with this resolution, allowing us to enter into this contract.
Okay. Thank you. Mr. Attorney, please publish.
A resolution authorizing the renewal of the agreement with Travelers Indemnity Company for the City of Kingsport property insurance and authorizing the mayor to execute all documents necessary and proper to effectuate the purpose of the agreement.
Thank you. You've heard the reading of the resolution. Is there a motion for approval?
So moved.
Motion for approval by Alderman Joyce. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Alderman Baker. Any discussion?
Chris, is this a increase over years past of 3.6%, is that up or down?
That is an increase. Yeah, so as we're seeing with property insurance nationwide, it is going up. Obviously, we've got a lot of properties, a lot of very significant properties with that, and so that's also the result of the increase.
This is a higher than normal increase.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Any other discussion? All in favor of the resolution, say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Opposed, like sign. Resolution passes 7-0. City Manager.
Next item is consideration of a resolution to authorize the mayor to sign all documents necessary to enter into a materials agreement with Integrity Building Group LLC related to the Fieldcrest Phase 1 development. This is coming to you all for approval based upon the amount. This will help facilitate 70 new single-family lots. I ask that you approve the resolution authorizing us to enter into the materials agreement with the developer.
Thank you. Mr. Attorney, please publish.
A resolution authorizing the mayor to enter into a materials agreement with Integrity Building Group LLC related to the Fieldcrest Phase 1 development and authorizing the mayor to sign all documents necessary and proper to effectuate the purpose of the agreement.
You've heard the reading of the resolution. Is there a motion for approval?
So moved.
Motion for approval, Vice Mayor Duncan. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Alderman Phillips. Any discussion?
I'll just want to reiterate what we talked about last night. This is a pretty big project that we, it's been in discussion for a long time, but to get this far, it means that we're probably getting pretty close to moving dirt. And when this project is, all the phases are said and done, this development will be even larger than the Edinburgh development. So that is that's a lot of homes coming to the Kingsport zip code.
Yeah, with that said and done, I mean, our material agreement is certainly something I'm glad we have for our developers and stuff. If we didn't have it, I don't think we'd be able to get these homes like this.
Any other discussion?
Yeah, just a comment too on Fieldcrest Road. That actually will be a better pathway for that short section through there. It's going to be an enhancement for that road and safety. So I think the developer did a very positive move in redirecting that traffic through the subdivision, straightening out the road. The old road will still be there, still be usable and existing, of course, but I'm feel certain the traffic will take the safer route. But it's a good project, good move on the developer to do that. I suspect he did not have to do that, so I appreciate that very much.
Any other discussion? Seeing none, all in favor of the resolution, say aye.
Aye.
And opposed, like sign. Resolution passes 7-0. City Manager.
Next item is consideration of a resolution to approve a mural in B2 Central Business District. This is located at 331 East Sullivan Street. You see here in the action form rendering of what the mural will look like. This is coming to you all for approval because of its location in a B2, which is part of our Central Business District downtown. Mayor?
Mr. Attorney, please publish.
A A resolution approving a mural for 331 East Sullivan Street situated in the B2 Central Business District.
Okay, you've heard a reading of the resolution. May I have a motion for approval?
So moved.
Motion for approval by Alderman Baker. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Alderman Cooper. Are we ready for this?
Just take the vote.
Don't want to talk about it.
We'll drag it out a little bit.
Well,
Been on the other side of it.
Okay.
Been here before.
Can we edit the mural?
We're gonna push this one over the goal line now. Okay, all in favor of the resolution, say aye. Aye. Opposed, like sign. Resolution passes 7-0. City Manager.
Next item is consideration of a resolution to extend the agreement between the City of Kingsport and First Horizon Bank for additional 3-year period. You see within the executive summary the services that are provided to the City of Kingsport from First Horizon. We'd ask that you all approve this for an additional 3 years. Mayor?
Thank you. Mr. Attorney, please publish.
A resolution approving a third amendment to the agreement with First Horizon Bank to extend the term of the agreement, authorizing the mayor to execute the amendment and all the documents necessary and proper to effectuate the purpose of the amendment.
Thank you. May I have a motion for a approval?
So moved.
Motion approved by Alderman Phillips, or second?
Second.
Second.
Second by Alderman Cooper. Any discussion? Okay, seeing none. All in favor of the resolution, say aye. Aye. Opposed, like sign. Resolution passes 7-0. City Manager.
Next item is consideration of a resolution to approve supplemental design services for the Kingsport Library renovation project. We'll have an official presentation on this at our January 21st work session from Assistant City Manager Michael Borders. This item addresses two things. First, part of the overall bid package, technology, AV, public announce system, all that be part of the base bid managed by the general contractor. In addition to that, it also sets up the opportunity for an alternate within this project for the parking lot. Parking lot that sits behind the library will be, as part of the alternate, proposed to be rebuilt. And with this, we'd also look at taking a section of that parking lot and not rebuilding it. It's at about 9 spaces. The reason for that is it allows us to expand Glen Bruce Park into that area, taking it all the way back to Shelby Street. It's been a conversation that the Library Commission, the library staff have been looking at for some time as they look as part of this new design to be able to bring the library into the park, a very unique opportunity for us. And so we want to be able to set up some of the entry-level work for that with this alternate design. The total amount of the change on this contract is $18,000. We ask that you move forward with the approval of this contract amendment with King Rash West.
Thank you. Mr. Attorney, please publish.
A resolution approving an amendment to the agreement with Kane Rash West for the Kingsport Public Library renovation project and authorizing the mayor to execute the amendment and all of the documents necessary and proper to effectuate the purpose of the amendment.
Thank you. You've heard the reading of the resolution. I have a motion for approval.
So moved.
Motion for approval by Alderman Phillips. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Alderman George. Any discussion? Seeing none, hearing none. All in favor of the resolution, say aye. Aye. Opposed, like sign. Resolution passes 7-0. City Manager.
Next item is consideration of a resolution to authorize the mayor to renew a lease agreement with Congresswoman Diana Harshbarger for office space at the Kingsport Center for Higher Education. This has been space to both current and past congressmen for the United States. We'd ask that you continue with that with the renewal. You see the amounts listed there in the third paragraph of the executive summary. We'd ask that you approve the resolution, Mayor.
Thank you. Mr. Attorney, please publish.
A resolution approving a district office lease agreement with Congresswoman Diana Harshbarger for district office space at the Kingsport Center for Higher Education, authorizing and directing the mayor to execute the agreement and all the documents necessary and proper to effectuate the purpose of the agreement.
Thank you. You've heard reading of the resolution. I have a motion for approval.
So moved.
Motion for approval, Alderman Baker. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Alderman Phillips. Is there any discussion? All in favor of the resolution, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, like sign. Resolution passes 7-0. City Manager.
All right, move into the consent agenda. We have 3 items on there. If you'd like any one of these pulled for additional discussion, please let me know. First item is consideration of a resolution ratifying an application for the Public Entities Partners 2024-25 Cybersecurity Matching Grant Program. Second item is consideration of a resolution of formal acceptance of deeds and deeds of easements. Third item is consideration of a resolution to accept a private monetary donation from the Encounter, the Kingsport Police Department, and I will add the Encounter also at our last meeting provided funding for the Kingsport Fire Department. Both of these in the same amount of about $1,800, and we're greatly appreciative for their donation. That, Mayor, that's consent agenda, and again, be happy to have any one of those pulled for further discussion.
Is there a motion for approval?
I would like to accept the consent agenda as presented.
Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Alderman Cooper. Any discussion?
Say thank you to Ethel Smalley for donation.
Very generous. Madam Recorder, please take the roll.
Alderman Baker,
Aye to all items.
Alderman Cooper,
Aye to all.
Vice Mayor Duncan,
Aye to all.
Alderman George,
Aye to all.
Alderman Mays,
Aye to all.
Alderman Phillips,
Aye to all.
Mayor Montgomery.
Aye to all. Thank you. Consent agenda approved, 7-0. City Manager.
All right, now moving to communications, and Mayor, on behalf of the city staff, to you and to the board and to our citizens, we want to wish everyone a very Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. It has truly been a good year for the city of Kingsport. That's not to say that we don't have our challenges, but I know we face them head on. We'll continue doing that in 2025. I know here a little bit later, the Vice Mayor is going to continue the tradition that was started by Vice Mayor McIntyre to kind of review the year that we have had, but my hat's off to the city staff for really just an outstanding year. We've talked about this a lot, and it's worthy of talking about again. When you bring in over $20 million in appropriations and grants into your city, that is saying a lot. Had an opportunity to talk to some other city managers today, and we were talking about various grants, and we were talking about the success we've had, and they were absolutely amazed at what our city staff have been able to do, and all of those are tangible elements that you can see in place within our city and throughout our total operations. Many of those we've yet to even break ground on. So exciting to see what the next year will bring. We have a lot of great things on the horizon as we move forward with the strategic plan, the land use comp plan. We continue to work towards the future phases of our dental school. We continue to work towards future additions to our academic village, and we continue to see this city grow and expand. I know we are often looking at this and asking what can we do and what can we do more. Definitely, we are always doing that in every way possible. But many, many cities across this state, across the Southeast, would love to be in the position that we are in as the city of Kingsport. So stress that to you all each and every day. Also want to tip my hat to the finance department as they are putting in a lot of long hours as they are wrapping up the audit for the year. The audit committee will be meeting at 4 o'clock on Thursday in this room. And then that item will be presented to the board at our January meeting. Next week, city offices will be closed on Tuesday for Christmas Eve, Wednesday for Christmas Day, and then the following week for New Year's Day. Services will be adjusted, facilities will be closed. Strongly encourage folks to go to our website, check our social media channels for any adjustments that might occur as a result of that. Thank you all. Merry Christmas. Mayor?
I'm going to start with Vice Mayor Duncan. Can we see your you, then we'll go.
Well, I appreciate that, Mayor, and so, I mean, this is like an evaluation of our city, and certainly we talk about staff, and so a lot of this was very instrumental with them, but this is quite lengthy, so we'll just kind of bear with me here. Approved a $240 million budget and applied for more than $26 million in grants for projects within the city. Successfully was awarded $20 million of that, and that went up today also by nearly $3 million, and most in the city's history. and most notably was the Blue Cross Blue Shield Healthy Places, the LPRF grant for Bays Mountain and Brickyard Park, state funding for future phases of the dental clinic. City personnel and departments received 17 awards at either a local, state, or national level, and the board recognized 13 individual groups for doing excellent work throughout our city. Hosted over 2,000 events on This Is Kingsport, that was their website. Resolved on 28,000 issues on Connect Kingsport app. Paved over 25 miles of city streets. Held the inaugural class of Model City 101, which was very successful, and great feedback on that. Authorizing moving forward with a new customer information system. Swore in a new mayor and our alderman. Established a new historic district along Broad Street. Adopted the Bays Mountain Park Improvement Plan to guide future improvements at the park. Toured the nearly completed Buck Van Hust Dome that will be reopened next month. That'd be exciting. Renovated the Bays Mountain Nature Center. We broke ground on the new Fox Den Playground, which is largely funded through private donations. Rezoned 2 pieces of property to make way for new commercial development. Held 2 joint meetings with the Board of Education to discuss plans for new elementary schools. Entered into a materials agreement to help make way for 116 new lots. Brickyard Village accounted for 32 of those 116 lots. Awarded the bid for Justice Center expansion and renovation, and that is currently in progress. Awarded bid for the water, sewer, warehouse renovation project. Approved a tax increment financing agreement to make way for 92 new townhomes and a new public parking lot at the new Riverbend Park. Received the Chancellor's Award from the Tennessee Board of Regents for philanthropy. Approved partner agreements for 14 agencies who assist the community. Extended lease agreements with Northeast State Community College, continuing longstanding partnership for higher education. Awarded $67,000 to program services through the community development block grant and $100,000 for critical emergency home repairs. Renamed a Bays Mountain Park Trail to honor a longstanding advocate for the park. Executed an agreement to begin creating a comprehensive land use plan for the city of Kingsport. Began work on new strategic plan for our city. Installed over 25,000 linear feet of water lines and almost 10,000 linear feet of sewer lines. We recognized our outstanding employees who worked tirelessly to help others through the Hurricane Helene assistance effort. Received presentations from agencies assisting with the homeless and later saw Grace House open. Replaced numerous pieces of equipment and vehicles within the organization to keep operations running at a high level of service. Issued over 130 building permits for new residential structures. Welcome new businesses to Kingsport such as Academy of Sports and Revere Tile, both great examples of the redevelopment in our city. Kingsport City Schools received numerous recognitions in educational attainment across all grades. Kingsport City Fire Department Hazmat Team became the first in the state to earn a Top 2 designation from TEMA. Kingsport Senior Center saw record membership of over 5,000 members. Southern Living recognized Kingsport Farmers Market as one of the top 12 markets in the South, and a new convenience center on Industry Drive to assist the recycling efforts. And I'd like to thank Jessica Harmon for putting that together, as she does yearly. So, as you can tell, we have had a busy year, and as City Manager kind of alluded to, we look forward to going into 2025. And I too would like to say Merry Christmas here, and look forward to working with everybody in 2025.
Alderman Phillips.
Oh, all right. Well, I'll get the Merry Christmas and Happy New Year to everybody. Get that out of the way. A few things I've got here. So we're in the push here. So we got a week to go a little bit. But there's a lot happening in Kingsport. So I will say all the things I said on the news the other day, and hopefully we repeat it. It gets out there. Thursday night is the final Twilight rides at the carousel. An anonymous donor has stepped up to sponsor those rides. So it is free rides Thursday night from 5 to 7. So it's really neat to see the carousel at night with all the decorations lit up. The lady on the news kept asking me, is there an age limit? There is not. Anyone can come to the carousel. We had 2-month-old on the carousel, and we had about, I don't want to say how old he looked, but I'm going to assume he was over 70-year-old there riding the carousel. So any age can come. But, so that's Thursday. Thursday. And then Friday, school gets out at noon, and from 1 to 3 at the carousel is Christmas at the Carousel, which is one of the biggest events at the carousel all year. And this year it's expanded into the farmer's market because it's grown so much. So I understand that Santa, Elsa from Frozen, and Buddy the Elf will be there. And then it is a 100% chance of snow at the carousel on Friday. So definitely come out, and free rides as well. So come out, bring the family. The playground's open. Farmers Market will be open in terms of the building, and the carousel's open and running. Maybe we can set a record for most rides in a day that day. Yeah, it's a great day. And then Friday night at Glen Bruce Park, the George Washington and Jefferson Elementary, is it Jefferson? I think George Washington and I believe Jefferson. Oh, George Washington and Jefferson elementary schools, their choirs and bell band, little bell ringers, they're going to be out here performing in the park, a little Christmas show. And then I believe it's going to snow there. And then, so snow all day in Kingsport Friday. Prepare for it. I know, that's amazing, right? And then Saturday, another big event, the Polar Express that the library puts on. It's always here at the library, but because the library is going under renovation, they're moving it this year to the farmers market. So that enables it the event's going to expand and be a little bit bigger, but they're going to show the movie. And then after the movie, there'll be lots of activities to do. Train conductor will be there for the Polar Express. So that is also at the farmers market. And then Saturday evening is the final event in our parks, and that's at Glen Bruce Park again, and that's the Holloway School of Dance is putting on a Christmas performance down there. Also want to add that Friday and Saturday are the last 2 nights or days to go to Bays Mountain to see the Christmas Laser Light Show. They have other shows they're doing, but like the Taylor Swift music and other things, but
Taylor Swift gonna be there?
I don't think she's going to appear, but I don't know for sure. So you never know. Yeah.
Get that rumor started.
Yeah, I mean, Christmas laser light show. So you can check Christmas in Kingsport for all that, and then Bays Mountain's website or city's website for their stuff. Then, sorry, this is long-winded, but I got some information. Turn off Christmas for a second. I got some information this week that I wanted to share that goes along with some of the stuff that Darrell was just talking about paving. We have talked about earlier this year that I truly believe that in Kingsport, we were behind in paving, obviously, but we have worked extremely hard as a city to catch up, and we've done an outstanding job, and we have some numbers here that prove that. So basically, there's all kinds of numbers I have here, but the most important number is that how many miles there are in a city, and basically how much money per mile that the city is investing into paving. And so when you look at that number, I've got here Johnson City at basically $11,000 per mile in 2024. Bristol, Tennessee, $6,000 per mile in 2024. Morristown, $7,000 per mile. The city of Kingsport is almost $16,000 per mile in the year 2024. So 2.5 times some of our neighboring cities, and 1.5 times Johnson City, who is a larger city. So I have all these numbers here, and I'm happy to share them with anybody that wants to see them, but that just goes to show that paving is being done. It's being done at a rapid pace, and we are working towards catching up. And I appreciate a lot of this comes from the grants that we've been talking about, and a lot of this comes from the effort of city staff. And so I appreciate the hard work they've done that year. That is an incredible number. We have spent this year $6.3 million just in 2024 on paving. So that's a great number, and so just want to highlight that for everybody and take that with you so you know that when somebody says all the roads are bad, that you can show them that they're not that bad. That's it. Merry Christmas.
I think that's great benchmarks. I appreciate that information on paving, and we need to work to get that disseminated out. So I'll just say Merry Christmas and Happy New Year, and I think congratulations to Mayor Papa Montgomery on the addition today of another family member. So a great time of the year for that to happen. So congrats, Papa.
Thank you. Congratulations, Mayor. Yeah. So I would just want to, first of all, thank Chris and Vice Mayor Duncan for the nod to former Vice Mayor McIntyre and keeping that tradition, summarizing the end of the year. And appreciate Vice Mayor Duncan doing that. Sure would like to have a digital copy of that, by the way.
We can get that.
Yeah, thank you. And also, I think something that needs to be said in recognition of our city, Kingsport, and the City of Kingsport schools. Our school system, along with the city staff here, really promotes student safety. And just to say publicly, our school system invests a significant amount of time with their teachers and support staff and the educators in planning for student safety, and really work well with all of our city organizations and county and state organizations, and they're fully committed. And I just think all of that work that the City of Kingsport does, and the school board, city staff, I think should be recognized, and appreciate their efforts of promoting student safety for our school system. So Merry Christmas to the board, and hopefully we'll have a Happy New Year, and hopefully we can keep up the good things that are going on in Kingsport next year. Thank you.
I just want to ditto what all James said about Christmas in Kingsport. I don't think our city has ever looked any prettier than it does right now. I said it. I don't know what it is about this year, but it seems like everything looks so pretty out there. And I just want to say one thing about some of our neighboring communities. Just remember, I keep trying to keep the communities that were devastated by the flood kind of out there for everyone not to forget about. We went up there this weekend and met with a family that literally lost everything. Their house was destroyed in a mudslide. All their personal stuff, she said, is buried under 15 feet of mud. They lost all their cars. And just hearing her talk this weekend was, how grateful she is for any help that she can continue to get from anyone. But it's not, we're so blessed here in Kingsport, but you don't have to go too far to see people that are still really, really struggling, really, really hurting from, the events that happened several months ago. So I think that as we go through the season, we just need to keep remembering that there's people out there that are still having a rough time. It's easy after it gets off the news or after it's been in the news for so long just to get kind of blind, not to acknowledge that there's still a lot of need out 30 minutes from where we live. So just as you go through the holiday season, just kind of keep remembering, there's people that still desperately need our help. So
I'll add, I was in Mountain City today and saw devastation. But I had some elected officials talk about the City of Kingsport staff was up there helping with water lines after the disaster. So I know that was part of a regional effort, but that really had some pride there to say we stepped up and helped in that. So, a lot of needs that are out there.
this is a family of 5. Their house moved while they were in it over 200 yards and broke apart. Their 10-year-old boy was when the house broke apart, he was thrown out. They couldn't find him for a while, but he was safe. He was found under a car. And she said that we have nothing, and they're still paying a mortgage on a house they don't have. They can't. And she said, there's been a lot of groups come up to try to help them, but their devastation is so massive that it's going to take, you know, larger things in church groups or, you know, someone to manage. So there's still, she said, my mind is stuck on the day that all this happened. She said, that, you know, we can't move forward till, so, you know, it was just hard. And she's a nurse in Avery County, works at the hospital in Avery County. She's just, you know, anyway, it's just, so, yeah, we just need to remember, and as the new year starts, just, you know, keep thinking about the people and trying to help what we can, you know, can, because it's not over for them at all. So thank you.
Everything's pretty much been said. Congratulations on your grandbaby. I am very jealous. One of these days I'm gonna have some of
Well,
those.
congratulations to you too. She's got a new daughter-in-law,
I'm
and
gonna do
a
it.
future daughter-in-law.
Yes, I'm getting closer to grandkids. And just wish everybody a Merry Christmas. It's been a great year, and 2025 is gonna even be better. So, Merry Christmas.
Thank you. I want to say thank you to you all for letting me have my training wheels for the last couple months. And I like them so much, I think I'll hold on to them for a little while longer. But I have felt blessed working with staff, city staff. I have not worked with highly professional people as this group of people are. Chris, your team is phenomenal. You do a lot of great things. You make this city shine, you keep moving. So appreciate all that you do day in and day out. This morning, my day started at 4 o'clock in the morning. But I am thankful, and thank you all for acknowledging my newest granddaughter, Lucia Grace Montgomery, came into the world this morning around 8:30. So blessed, and I wish each of you, you out there as well, a very Merry Christmas, a prosperous and Happy New Year, and most importantly, let's all be safe during the holiday season. This meeting's adjourned.
During all the snow we had on Friday.
I know.
Hope we got the salt. Hope we got enough salt to cover
For all
all
the
that.
snow